Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So if you have been following my channel for a while, you have seen a couple of Lyre unboxings where I have hinted at sort of a special project that I was working on. And I've been really vague about it. And I've been really vague about it mostly because I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to make it work or how it was going to work out. So I am unveiling to you today the FrankenLyre. So it's a little ridiculous, it really is. Basically, I had this thought that I wanted a wire strung, double strung harp. And I was going to commission somebody to make me one, and then I found something better to spend my money on, and I was like, oh, but I still kind of want to try to get that sound. So then I had this brilliant idea. What if I try to put two lyres together, and then I can have that sort of double strung sound without having to pay, like thousands of dollars. And then I found two lyres that were sort of like mirror images of each other. So you can see they both have the low notes down here. And that took some doing, actually. But I found some, and then I got them, and I was like, okay, how am I going to put this together? I had these grand ideas in my head that I was gonna, sand and like line them up correctly, and so they'd look really nice, because I thought that they'd be a little closer in size, but there's like there's a lot of size difference here, so that would have been a lot of work, and it was already kind of a silly project. So I wasn't sure that I wanted to go with that level of commitment. So the most difficult thing about the FrankenLyre I have found is finding a way to hold it steady. This is kind of a weird position. I just like put my feet up on something, but creating that sort of like little divot in your lap does help. But you have to be careful not to like squeeze it too much, because then you're dampening the strings, and since they're wire strings, it's super obvious. And so yeah, it's kind of hard, but so the gist of the FrankenLyre is that it sounds really cool, but I need to figure out some way to make it sit more stably on my lap. So the construction of the FrankenLyre, I mentioned that I really wanted to like glue and shape and make it really cool. However, I ran into some problems with that. And as I said, the biggest problem is with the difference in size, but also I realized if I was going to stick them together, you can see the access holes to change the strings are here on the back, which isn't a problem for the bigger one, but is a huge problem for this side, because if I break one of these strings and these are glued together, then I cannot reach the access holes on the back at all to put a new string on it, which is kind of a bummer. So my brilliant solution was, see if I get it. Very strong Velcro. Which makes the word project seem like an over-exaggeration when describing this. because it's just two things stuck together, but also it's cool. If you would like to try and duplicate the FrankenLyre, I will put links down in the description to the lyres that I purchased, because you do need to make sure that you're getting ones that are a mirror image, which is a little tricky. And the other thing that's really important is that you try your best to line up the tuning pegs, the strings on both sides, so that you just kind of have, when you play double strung harp, I guess that's just how I play double strung harp. It's easiest for me to be looking at the left side. And then because you're looking at the left side and you have, like, you can see where those strings are, your brain kind of gets this idea of where the same strings are on the right side, as long as they're lined up. Because if they're not lined up, then it gets all wonky in your brain and it's really hard to do. Which brings me to the other drawback of the FrankenLyre. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to see. The strings are kind of angled on the lyre. Like, you can see it's bigger up here and it's smaller down here, so they kind of angle into that. Which isn't a huge deal when you're playing just one, but of course they do it at a different angle on the other side. So you can kind of see those sets of strings. They angle in opposite directions sometimes a little bit, which does make it a little challenging to play by feel as well. But it's certainly not impossible, and honestly, I don't think it's really even that hard. I just need a more stable base on which to play it. The other little bit of tricky thing that I wanted to point out is this lyre, this is the FrankenLyre. It's really good at maintaining string spacing, and the string spacing on the high notes and the low notes is relatively the same. But that is different for this other 19-string lyre that I got. This one has a pretty tight string spacing when you get up to the top notes, which makes it a little confusing to play on both sides for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. So I mentioned a lot of the downsides and the silly parts of the FrankenLyre, but I would like to say that if you're a lyre player or harp player and you really want to try out a double strung without, because double strungs are expensive. So if you just want to try it out, I really don't think that this is a bad choice. The range is really nice. It goes all the way down to F below middle C, and then it goes up to the C above middle C. So that's awesome because you have pretty much the range that a lot of double strung music is written for. So if you're playing sheet music, this is gonna fit right in that range and be fine. And just to practice the idea of looking at one set of strings and using that set of strings that you're looking at and that information to play on the other side, it helps. I will give one tip. If you are a harp player and you're used to your red strings being C's and your blue strings being F's, playing a wire strung is hard because there's no distinguishing colors of strings, and that's the other reason that I'm having so much trouble actually picking out melodies on here. But there's a really easy solution to that I have used on my other wire strung harps. If you get some Posca paint markers and you can just pick up one red and one blue one, they color the strings really well. Like they provide a lot of coverage and you can definitely tell which ones are blue and which ones are red. And they don't change the sound at all. So that's one way to do it if you're a harp player and you really want to do the lyre. And that is it for my explanation of the FrankenLyre. Again, it started out as this really ambitious project, so it was going to be cooler, but then my ambitious ideas looked really time-consuming, and I'm just finishing up a summer semester, which was also really time-consuming, so I kind of decided just to go the easy way out, and I think that even the easy way out is really cool. So if you want to try something really easy and not that expensive, because each of these lyres is around $60 to $70, so not terrible, and you want to do a cool double strung thing, you can do that with the FrankenLyre. Thank you all so much for watching and for your endless support with my sometimes silliness. If you have any questions, please do feel free to ask in the comments because I love getting back to you guys and I love hearing from you guys. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Thank you all so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, go ahead and click on that subscription button right up there. Otherwise, if you would like to join my Patreon or buy me a coffee, the links to those are down in the description. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.